All right. So, hi everyone. I'm Annissa, and this is Whale FM's Fireside Chat with Artists. In this show, we talk about everything and anything art and crypto and the NFT scene with designers and creators alike, otherwise known as non-fungible tokens. My guest today is Fernando Magalhães. Fernando is a procedural artist working with machines and feelings to create artworks to evoke emotions and has a unique insight into bridging the gap between game design, art, programming, and such. Please enjoy. Hola, Fernando. Seja bem-vindo. Thank you so much for coming on. And to start us off, I'd love to hear a little bit about your background and how you first got into crypto and then the NFT art space.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, amazing. Oh, thank you so much, guys, for having me. It's a
Of
pleasure.
course.
So, yeah, my name is Fernando Magalhães. I am from São Paulo, Brazil, and I moved to London 3 years ago to work on the agency and like not procedure, but like 3D and all that. And in the last 1 year and a half, I started transitioning from commercial work to personal work. Back in Brazil, I used to work with animation and 3D and all that. Always using animation back then. In that time, using Maya. And then on 2012, I transitioned to Houdini because I have a back. I did for the university. I did interface design. Was something between digital design and industrial design. It's really weird. Back in that time, like it was pretty new for me, and there was a pretty strong background, like pretty strong stuff around code and all that. So then I started using processing, and that's why on the middle of my career I switched to Houdini because I found like okay, I can do much more than Maya I was able to do in Maya, and then I started to work on Houdini and got crazy, like all the possibilities and all that. And then I found a lot of I started to find my own interest, and it was a bit of like something about proceduralism, automation, and of course like machines and all that. Because like I remember the first time I saw a computer was in like a friend of not a friend, a cousin of mine, and he has it, and we were playing Aladdin. Now I said, "Oh my God, look at this! This is crazy." I mean, I had video games before, but like I've so that thing you have there, you can do whatever you want, like paint, like do some drawings and all that. And I say, "Oh my God, this is crazy!" And then I got crazy, like I just drive my parents crazy. Like I need a computer. I need a computer, and my mind works really like that, like really obsessive about things and all that. So yeah, so this is my story with this bit of the history about computers and all this need of automation and all that. So then I start to do these robots, and then I start to think, okay, I want to create a robot, but I don't want to create just one robot because I'm super lazy. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna find a way to do it like more than one. And then I found this technique, and from there I just like found, oh man, that's amazing, what I can do now. And this opened me like a big wide range to explore my personal work and all that. Uh, and this is like crazy amazing times to be on. And yeah, it's pretty crazy way. Sorry. Yeah, it's pretty much it, I would say.
Amazing. Yeah, and I remember, like, when you talked about how, and that's an amazing story to begin with, and how you switched kind of programming in the middle of your life and such on, so on. Um, and I remember you mentioned like about the robots, and I'm not just going to create one. I'm going to create like a whole army of them because what's the use for one robot when you can have a whole army, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of started with this kind of add-on, correct?
Yeah. I have this.
Yeah.
I can show you if I can share my
Let
screen. Okay. Um, can you guys see my screen? Oh, sorry.
me see.
Oh, Adam is not here. Oh, sorry.
So we can see it perfectly.
Okay, I can show the army, but Adam is not here. I can find it, and but yeah. Um, oh, um, I think I can find it. Just give me 1 second. I can find it.
No problem. Take your time.
Because is really the for me. It was like when I realized like that I found something that's really strong for me. Like I'm not a 3D modeler. I don't
Mm-hmm.
model. I don't do stuff, and it was the first time I thought, I might have something.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, yeah, I found it. Amazing.
Amazing, indeed. I love this. Is impressive. Your army is very impressive.
Yeah. Okay. What? Okay, now it's a big file. It's yeah. This is
Wow.
Adam. So was the first one that I realized that this thing can actually uh you know fulfill my dreams of becoming like of creating and like being creative and breaking this rule all one by one
Right.
because the thing is when what motivates me to create and work this way is like a
Mm-hmm.
super painful way of work because it's like you need to follow a lot of rules to be able to generate like tons of them. But
Right.
the thing is um, when you see for the first time an artwork of another artist, it's really powerful. Like, and you say, "Oh my God, this is amazing! Never seen this before." It's like
Mm-hmm.
his creation and all that, and
Yeah.
I kind of have the same thing with my own work because I kind of work in one, and basically I didn't work on Adam. I worked on the tool to create Adam, but I was doing another variation of him. And when I saw him for the first time, I say, "Oh my God!" It's like the first time I see something.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the same relation that somebody that loves our artwork, an artist, and somebody sees his work is like amazing, and this is the same feeling that I have when I click render and see the result. So for me, it's like, ooh, that's amazing. Like I love this way of working.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you mentioned that because I remember reading upon your interview with a Super Rare, and I just posted the link
Hmm.
at text as well for anyone who wants to read it. But you said that your approach to making this digital work is completely autonomous, which was
Yeah,
just fascinating to me because you basically create these rules that drive the modeling tools, and then you let the rest decide itself. So, like you
yeah.
said, you only do the render once it's completely done. And I love to know, why you kind of chose this approach because it's very different. Like a lot of artists, I guess, like or in my experience that I met, are they want to control exactly every single detail where everything is exactly. And so it's interesting how you kind of go, you know what, I set the rules and then I let it do its thing. What
Hmm.
kind of made you want to take that approach?
So yeah, first, I for me it's really hard to choose what are the
Hmm.
like whenever I go. I remember going to like McDonald's and like taking like 5 minutes to decide what I want, and and people wait. Well, come on, man, you need to take something. And I say, oh my God, but there's so many options, so all of them are
Oh
good,
no.
like
Oh,
no, but
yeah.
it's a bit dumb, no, but of course it's like something um, it's kind of my passion is to, yeah, since I was a kid, I used to love the broken cars, and I used to love um disassembling stuff, like I used to, like, okay, I earned a new, like, toy car. My
Mhm.
thing was like, what is it made of, like, like, it's like, kind of, I have this thing that is a, usually I dissecate stuff.
Mhm.
So I can explain you really easy using this example. Once I was really into hinges, doors,
Yeah,
hinges,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
and I was like, oh my God, hinges, like, there's a whole new there is a whole universe around hinges. What
Yeah.
what what is a hinge? What it means? Like, what made a hinge? Like, and then you start to dissecate and see all how it's made. What's makes something a hinge and what makes not. So then you
Mhm.
isolate it and you recreate, and then you see the variation. You know
Right.
so that's why for me it's like, I choose this way of work, because I mean, I can see like 100 variations, like 200 variations of the same thing, and I love all of them. And what is the background, and also because I don't think I kind of what how can I say that? It's like, whenever I feel that I touch,
Mhm.
I kind of feels a bit that I ruined it. It doesn't, because it's kind of, if you go to nature and see, I don't know, and see, um, I don't know, like an animal there, you don't want to interfere on its thing, just do its thing, and I would just want to watch from outside and see what you do. And this is, for me, is what also, like, what drives me is like, um, I just gonna define the rules, but I can't touch the final piece. There is no nothing that I can do after to make it look better or whatever. The only part of the process that allow myself to do is before. It's like pro making the project, and making the rules and all that. So yeah, I mean, and then I got addicted to this way of working. So
Mhm.
that's why I use this way. But I understand that is a bit weird. Like, imagine you're gonna create something that you don't know what it is, and then
Mhm.
you don't see until it's done.
It's like an Easter egg. It's like an Easter egg surprise, basically. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And when you mentioned about the knobs and the hinges and taking things apart, it's fascinating because it's kind of the whole first principle thing. It's like kind of stripping everything without context, and it's literally just its basics elements, and you have it raw, and that's kind of just what it is. It's right out in front of you, and it's kind of what I call like an avid learner. You're just like relentlessly resourceful in that sense that you just want to know how everything works, and that's inquisitiveness. Do you think
Hmm.
that you have to be inquisitive in order to be an artist, or to be a quote unquote a good one? What are your thoughts on that?
Hmm. Um, yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Can I ask you to say again, so I have a second thought, because I think my first thought is a bit not right.
No
Not
problem at
not
all.
not, not Yeah, yeah.
So, basically with what you said about how you kind of take everything apart, on seeing
Mm-hmm.
everything, I guess, like, and taking everything apart, it gives you a different perspective on things. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things are based on perspective. And so I guess my question would be, do you need to be that inquisitive in order to be a quote unquote a good artist, in your mind or your personal opinion?
Okay, I see. I mean, it depends. I think everything is open. Like, everything is open. Everything is
Mhm.
possible. I guess people find their own way of work, and I think I encourage them. I always say like you need to find your own way.
Mhm.
That's why uh, I had a lot of people asking me to do tutorials and all that, but I don't find an interest in doing that because I'm not like a good tutorial maker. But I also like because there's so much gold when you find your own way, you know. And I don't think that is right or wrong. I mean, uh, like if you go back in history, you take the great artists, they do their own way. Like Pollock did his way, that the way he wants to do, and Picasso did the way that he think it was good. You know, I don't. I think to be an artist is just a mind state. You know, it's not something. It's not I think it's not the end or the final piece. Is like something when you are a musician, you are a musician because you are a musician, you know, like just because there's nothing else you can do instead of doing what you do. So that's why I guess for me it's like you always need to find your own way. So when you find your own way, there's no wrong way. Also, uh, I used to have um, really hard boundaries about what it is and what is not. And in the last couple of years, I started doing like therapy to like start to know myself a bit better. And then I just like everything just shattered in front of me, you know, like all my truths, my beliefs, they just shattered like as like the cheapest glasses you can buy, you know. And I'll say
Yeah.
like, oh my god, there is no such a thing, you know. There is, for me, I think now there's no such a thing as truth, lie, wrong or right. It's like you can decide. Everybody's deciding on the go, and that's it. I think is more to open than to close. So using that, I don't think is when you say an artist, everything could be art, and also nothing could be art. It's a bit weird, but I think for me it's open, and when it defines the people who want to see, it's done. You know, even if it's yourself.
I think that's beautiful. And you know, like you said, right, it's a funny concept. It's very abstract. You know, it's kind of like, you know, only your mind knows some things. It's your inner voice, your instincts. And so, you know, if you listen to what you know instinctively, then it's always going to lead you down the right path or the path that you want to go
Mm-hmm.
on.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. And so, you know, for people who, you know, going back on the subject on, you know, being procedural artists, what does that actually entail? And how does procedural generation actually work for people who don't know?
Okay, so procedural. I do more procedural modeling, but there's procedural on everything. It's basically um, working around um, I would say systems, but like small
Mhm.
systems that does like let's say extrusion. So everything that comes here I gonna extrude, and then when every time yeah, it's basically based on rules. It's kind of different from systems a bit, because systems is, I think it's something like that is bigger, like that controls a lot of stuff, and procedural is more like a repetitive way of doing stuff. So you do in a way that, let's say, you can draw a circle, or you can make like a procedural tool that draws a circle using certain measurements and sine and cosine and all that. So yeah, the procedural is a way of work. Like I would say
Mhm.
a way of living as well. But but yeah, it allows you to break this rule one by one. You know that the when you need to do something to get the output. Basically, it just do all the time as you. Does it make sense?
I think it does. Like how
Yeah.
you said, I love how you said it's a way of life. Procedural is a way of life. I love that. Yeah, I love that absolutely. And so yeah, I mean, okay. And going back to the procedural thing, right? like I basically came across your work when Willow Shark actually dropped a link on our Discord after your feature in the Super editorial. And so I clicked onto the link. And so my team members can back me up on this, but I've just been completely blown away by your work. So again, I'm super excited for this interview. And in your interview with Superware, you mentioned briefly on why you started the Genesis Human Project, the Alpha 3D rendering series. And you mentioned a generative system called Lambogen. That means Lamborghini generator. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds super cool, and I'm incredibly intrigued. So could you please explain that further? Because it's super cool. And yes, just go ahead.
I'm gonna show you the thing. Yes. Is it because you know there is a guy called he's a photographer, and his name is Maxime Gouillon. He's just like amazing photography. He's like super detailed. Right. It's crazy, amazing stuff. Like you should check it out. It's like amazing. So there's one piece of him that is actually a picture of a Lamborghini, like a photo of a Lamborghini. Just a small part, and it's like super abstract. And I say, oh my God, look at the power of this image, you know. And then I started these. I started to like, okay, I got obsessed with it, because obsession is like a major key on my work. I got obsessed. And I'm gonna show you. And then I start this series that is like trying to like recreate these moments for me, because we're so powerful that I couldn't forget. You know, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then. Yeah, you can see here like it's moving and doing his thing. And then I started, okay, I can do variations with this little system, you know, and they are different. And then I say, okay, there's something here. And then I start to think, okay, what is after this, you know. And then the whole thing happened. Yeah, but this is the Lamborghini piece, and this is what gave me the idea of starting the whole thing.
I mean, it's amazing because it basically kind of ties into what you said in the beginning on like you taking things apart, because this is basically, you know, it's like they gave you this idea of like just the parts, and then you started assembling them essentially. And so, but you know, props to you for the name anyways. Like it's it's such a cool name, and it's like, there's no way that nobody would want to like know more about this. I saw this and I just went mind blown, like you know. Yeah, and you know, relating yeah.
And back in this time, it was like because I used to work for design studios and all that, and back in that time, my boss, he saw it and he found like, this is amazing, but the name is really funny and good. And for I don't know what he thought, but he was always like, Lamborghini and Lamborghini, I say. And then turns out that it's like it's just like everything started basically here, I would say. At least for the robot series, you know, because then you can see all these guys, they are after these, and I have like so many of them, so many. It's like endless.
Wait, so you're telling me that your boss came up with the name Lambogen at the time?
No, I came out with the name, but he was making fun of the name, you know, like because it's like a funny name, sure. Like, but
yeah, I mean, speaking about like you and your like design days, right? Like being a designer and stuff. How did that kind of prime you for what you're doing today?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
How did being a designer in the past and like doing stuff like that, or like freelance, how did that kind of prime you for doing the work that you're doing now?
Oh yeah, it's you know, it gives you a lot of sense of what you need to do, how it should look. The commercial work always gives you a lot of substance in the sense of how things should look, you know, because I mean, from my perspective, it doesn't mean that it works for everyone. I just say for
Right.
me, it gives me a lot of, because the standards are super high. You can't deliver something that doesn't look good. At least I think it how it is, and you need to always to push yourself to make it look as great as possible. And these give you a lot of possibilities in making it look right and look good and all that. So it's a really good balance for me to because I can go crazy and produce like really ugly things because I thought it would be interesting, but the commercial part always bring me back to the real world where people get interested for things that look appealing and things that are and the commercial work always like ask you for it usually, I would say. And yeah, and being a designer is like super cool, like being a project with like 5-10 people like super talented and share all these I would say you can achieve bigger things just only working together with other people, or you need to go full procedural.
100%. And speaking about like commercial work and stuff like that, like I was doing some research and I saw that you did a collaboration with Cyber Magazine and Giorgio Calendri, who is an Adidas athlete and was featured in the Forbes 30 under 30s. But
Yeah.
that being said, when I saw the magazine cover, I just went, wow, because your average magazine cover does not look like that, and it does not do anything like that. The cover was created from a complete 3D scan of Giorgio's face, which enabled you to create him as a digitally rendered robot and a robot hand straight out of 3020. Like it's in the future. You're living in the future. Who needs a mouse when you can have a robot hand, right? So yeah, so how did that collaboration kind of take place, and what was the creation process like? Basically scanning someone's 3D face and then making them into a robot.
So basically, yeah, the face I have no. I was not responsible for the face scanning and because they have these assets already. So for me was much better because I would have a lot of trouble doing that. But yeah, was really good. This a really great friend of mine, Benoit. He's now my agent as well. He helps me a lot of stuff like think the future and all that. And but like when he saw the exometa on Twitter, he just sent me a message and oh yeah, let's do stuff together. And since then we've been doing stuff together. And this was the kind of or like the third or fourth collaboration, and the process was pretty crazy, as I would say, because how can I say that? It's a bit tricky because I don't. This is how I work. Okay, you're gonna understand now. I think I don't have any plan. Basically, I don't have any plan. So that's why I make all these tools that I can come up with an idea, or at least like try to see and feel what it needs, and from there I go. I just follow the flow. It's a bit tricky to say that because whenever I'm working, I'm not thinking. It's something that comes automatically. I don't. Basically, this I don't do any draw. I don't do anything. I basically just like try random stuff, throw there, rotate, and then start to. Okay, there's something here, and start to like listen to its own thing. You see the forms and the shapes, and you say okay. And then I found the torso actually was the torso, and then it was like a curved shape, like doesn't look like a torso in any way, but the way it was the in the back looks like a neck. And then they say, oh, that's amazing, it looks like a neck, I can use this to be his torso. And then from there everything came out supernaturally because I had his torso and I had his head, and then I just had to keep listening what like my inner feeling was saying to me. Oh, okay, then let's put like an arm, and let's put more geometry here. Let's do a small symbol here, and it was more like composition using these things. And the thing is, I'm not like if I had to model this by hand, I would never do it because I can't it's not my thing, you know.
Right.
But I have this tool that creates all these geometry for me, so I can use it in a way that I feel joy, you know, because I don't have any joy modeling by hand all of that. And it was the same thing for the hand, you know. Oh, sorry. For the hand was I found the thumb, you know. I just like because it's something that you this particular tool is something that you is kind of create random forms but super intricate forms, and if you check the thumb, it creates the thumb straight away and say, oh, this is a thumb, okay. And from there I just was like trying to slide the tool and find which piece I can use to make it the final piece. The only thing for the hand is the middle part. The palm was really tricky. I had to go to ZBrush and sculpt a bit because I couldn't find the right balance, the right scale of proportions for me. And then I used ZBrush a bit. But yeah, the I would say 80% of the whole model was something on 1 day and a half because of the procedural. And yeah, and I'm obsessed with these all with this new tool as well and all this stuff.
Yeah, I love what you said that it kind of like it's like, for example, you see a line, you see a shape, and then it just kind of registers in your brain that okay, that could be something. We could like work with that. Like it just comes to you naturally to a point. You know?
Yeah. Was is I have a like one thing that I really realized this feeling. We had to do an installation with the company that was working back in time. And we went to this place that we need to put a lot of lights. The lights was supposed to make some drawings in a space like a 3D place. And then everyone was like going to the place, taking photos. But I stopped and I tried to like understand this space and feel what is this space was telling me. And then I saw it and said, okay, this is and then I found like this is the sweetest spot, you know. This is the place that we everything could happen. You can see the whole thing. And then from there we made the whole installation based on that spot. And this was the moment I realized, okay, I have this thing and I should follow this thing because it tells me a lot of what should I do, you know. The So why I'm bringing this is because that's why I have machine and feelings always talking about this, is because the feelings is like plays uh, the same amount of stuff that the machine part does, you know, like kind of when I say that everything is automatically, but by itself it does nothing, you know, just create amazing like disconnected stuff. And I need to see them and try to force myself to try to find something that gives me any emotion, any feeling, or provokes me any kind of reaction, you know.
So when you said that you kind of, you know, when people see something, they kind of just see it, but then you kind of feel it, you let it speak back to you. How do you translate that into your work? Because I feel like that's kind of the hardest part. Like sometimes you can feel it, but it's hard to express it back out to other people so they feel the exact same thing. Or like a similar version of it at least. How do you do that? How would you recommend for people to do that?
Yeah, I would say know your tools. First, you need to know your tools. You need to it's hard to say, like, of course you should find your own way, but for me what I could say is just what works for me is that I had to not I don't see myself as a master, but you need to at least be in a good position of feeling free with your tools, you know. You should, as a person that draws, you need to feel comfortable with a pencil on your hand and a paper in your arm, you know, in your eye, to be able to translate to everything. So this takes time. and you can't run out of it. You need to spend some time, and then everything will at some point will start to come up, and you're gonna find your own interest. I think there's no easy. I don't think there is a easy way of like, okay, I just did this and found my own, and that's it. I mean, you can find it, but for me, it doesn't work this way. Just for me, not for others. But yeah, I think you need to try. You need to try to be good in something, and then once you are good in something, other things will open, and it never stops.
And that's amazing, I feel like, and speaking about like that feedback and that feeling, I know that in most of your works, well, at least like the robots one, where does the storyline kind of come from? You have this dystopian kind of narrative where people are forced into synthetic recipient bodies that receive, the brain and the heart of the original specimen for them to face the extreme conditions of a new planet because of the failure of planet Earth. Does this kind of like this feeling, like does it have to do with the feeling that you kind of feel and then you translate it back into the robots, or where does that storyline, that storyboard kind of come from?
So yeah, as I said, my thing is really post is like kind of reverse, because the way that I work is like kind of reverse engineering, because I try to dissecate stuff and rebuild and change and see what comes out. So from there, I can't do this like I can't think like I'm gonna do like, let's say, this robot this way, gonna put one thing here, one thing. I don't have this. I don't work like that, And for me, it's like if you go outside and see one person face, what you think about it? What think about him, about her? Well, what's in there? What it tells you? And for me, this is the how I think. So when I start like with Adam and all the series, I thought, okay, if I take this guy, like what he tells me, like trying to like figure out where you come from, what you're doing here, like who are you, why you look like that. In the it's pretty fun, like it's like speculating about something else, and because as I told, I'm like I would say most of them I have never seen yet, because there's too many. And when I see them for the first time, I try to understand what they tell me, like to read them, basically.
Wow, it's like meeting a friend for the first time. It's like meeting someone that yeah, it's like I said, it's Easter eggs, and it's like basically creating a whole story just by looking at them and figuring them out, basically, like you said, reading it, and you just don't know what to expect every time. Um, and so basically, like let's talk about Adam and Eve, right? Like, with the robot series, you started with Adam, and then with the paint series, you started with Eve. I'd love to know kind of how the whole paint series, why and when the paint series basically started, because that's very different from what you kind of went towards, like first the robots, and then now it's this completely fluid being, and it's very natural, very different from what you worked with before. I'd love to see or hear kind of what your thought process was in creating that series.
It's kind of like imagine if I put the robots as a chemical,
Right.
What is the opposite, the totally opposite of something like this, It's something like paint, totally uncontrollable, but it has its own, to be a painter, like, because I thought like, oh, it would be amazing if at some point I could be a painter, but like I tried, and it's something out of this world. It's not like it's super hard. I mean, to control the paint itself is like it's like magic for me, And I thought, man, I thought this is like amazing, like it looks good, it's fluid, and it's totally the opposite of the robots. And of course, I was obsessed with this material. I was checking. There's so much beauty in these. That's in the cultural value of the paint itself. The paint is always related to something super elevated, something like always like goes to like painters, and the painters the masters, and that it has it's super simple material, like not material, but like super simple concept or or thing in the real world, but it has so much like symbols and representations, and it's so subtle. And for me, was the just the right opposite of the robots itself. So then I started to become obsessed, and then when I got obsessed, I start to chase until I find something that's really okay. There's something here, and then I can move on and do the thing.
Yeah. And like I mentioned, like I remember you mentioned like being obsessive, like, and this is the second time, and I actually admire that a lot. Like I feel like in order to truly immerse yourself in something, you really, really need to. And I feel like with the whole idea of obsession, like a lot of people have this negative connotation for it, but it's actually a good thing. I feel like. What are your thoughts on it?
It depends. The obsession is something really powerful. It's something really, really powerful. It's something that you can do amazing things or super like bad things. It's just like a powerful energy. And you should always like you should always point to things that you really want. So I was obsessed with ice cream for once. I was obsessed, really obsessed. Yes, it's
Oh no!
because
Oh no!
no, yeah, there was this blue flavor, that is basically totally synthetic, and I have like a kind of really hard. I really love like synthetic tastes and synthetic whatever, like candy cotton tasted whatever, and I was like really obsessed. But and it turns out that at some point, one day I was like running to find the ice cream truck,
Oh no!
because
You were running.
it's it's like super bad, like imagine like a 30 years old running to get the ice cream.
Oh no!
And this is like the kind of obsession that I want to avoid. So then I'm since then I'm trying to like focus my obsession on just like things that are cool.
Yes. Oh my gosh. No, I cannot picture that, but it must have been a sight for the people watching. It must have been sure.
No, if you ask my wife, she's gonna tell you, oh yeah, it was like so embarrassing. but like you go out of control, But that's the power of an obsession, and the same thing is for the work, I got so obsessive that like sometimes I need to. Yeah, I mean, I have to say this. Like sometimes I work in like I wake up at like 7, and the first thought is like I'm gonna do this. Like I need to do this, and like trying to figure out how I can do something, And in this is like the whole, like not say the whole day, but it's like at least half a day like this, And then I have to do stuff. I have to not produce. It's not or being productive, but I need to take these things out of my head, Otherwise, they become super big, and I can't do anything else, and not following them,
Is it usually just creating art? Like the first thing that you wake up in the morning, the first thing is like art. I need to create. I need to make more robots. I need to do some painting. I need to do some, I need to just produce. I need to get stuff out. I have all this like feeling in my head. I need to get this feeling out to the world.
Yeah. It's not something that I have the feeling of creating, but I have the need of getting this stuff out of my head, Because once I do, and then now I can leave. I can answer emails. I can do the regular life, Otherwise, I can I look to the email. I start to answer, and then my thoughts just like blah, 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 and then I go back to and then I go back to the thing, and I start to wondering, oh yeah, it's gonna be like this and like that, and could be this and could be that, and then I'm gone,
Yeah, it's like an itch. It's like an itch. You just need to get it, or else
Yeah,
it's just gonna
exactly.
bother you the whole day. No, I love it. I love it so much. And so yes. And so basically, I kind of wanted to know more about this feeling, this like I guess painting, really free, really like you said, like even just mastering the paint, just trying to
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote control it, even though you can't really,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so I know that you did this collaboration with I remember it was this artist called Michael Kalowski, who was also a procedural artist.
Mm-hmm.
And just fair warning, I basically forwarded this Instagram photo to almost everyone I know because
Mm-hmm.
it's this piece, like hold your horses, it's gonna blow your mind. But this is a video sculpture on a physical display. It looks absolutely insane. And I would love to know, first of all, do you have this display at home? Because it's just fast, it's just beautiful. And was this piece created specifically for this collaboration?
Um, no, Michael is he's like a beast, like he's
Mm.
crazy, like he does like
Okay.
yes, it's like I remember like following him and like like this is just like blow my
Yeah.
mind, like
Same.
and uh and then he approached me and say, oh man, does your thing work on real time? And I
Mm.
said, oh man, I don't know, we could try. It'd be fun
Mhm.
to see something, in real time.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, let's do it, man, let's do it. I just give me some files, and I can do it. And then I converted all the stuff that I have to render. I convert
Mhm.
to not to run in real time, but like baked all the textures and
Yeah.
everything. And then he assembled it on using his technique, his this apparatus, this amazing. I can't even name it. I just like this,
Mhm.
this new piece of this new object, this totally new object,
Yeah.
like a canvas, like a real canvas, and
Mhm.
digital and amazing. And like, yeah, it was basically this. He just approached me and said, let's jam. And I said, okay, I can do this. And we ended like this, like doing it. And
Mhm.
it was like so much fun to see. I wish I could at some point I could go there and see for real, like being
Mhm.
actually in the space. That should be uh what can I say? It should be like amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he has his own exploration as well. That is, he's doing like some paintings, like a feeling of painting, but like totally different approach. Like
Yeah.
it's really amazing. You should check him out for sure. Like, but yeah, it's pretty much it was something like he came on Instagram and said like let's do something. Say, why not? And we did it. It was really amazing.
That's absolutely beautiful. And so yeah, and I think a lot of people, and looking back on your Instagram, right? And
Mm-hmm.
recently I see that you've been focusing a bit more on the painting side or the paints. And like 22 hours ago, you posted this untitled.tpm000xp0 video on your Instagram. And I'm sure, just like John Norland, we have one question. How? Everyone wants to know what kind of program or plugin you use. And like many that have commented, what the hell is this masterpiece? Essentially, what the hell is this masterpiece?
So
It's
which one? Which
your most recent one, your most recent post.
most recent one. Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. So yeah, this is my attempt to trying to be a painter. You know, of course using systems and all that, but
Yeah.
of course there is a connection with the Genesis, all the Genesis stuff. Basically,
Mhm.
what I'm trying is kind of merge both worlds, but the
Yes.
paint world is still on development.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, basically, yeah, this is what the paint obsession. I was trying to like, okay, how can I make it? How can I paint? But I'm not a painter. I can't paint. But I can't control any real world thing. But I can control the computer, and the computer paints uh, using my brain. Of course, it can, and that's the piece. But this is like my experiment for the Genesis world. I'm gonna merge both of the worlds hopefully soon.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's kind of it's hard for me to transfer this to words, because
Right.
as I said, like I don't think in words. I just like, oh, I need to do this, and I start to like throw up stuff on the computer and try to
Mhm.
to crack things. And then
Yeah.
when I saw there's no like words, it's just like, yeah, that's what I
Mhm.
what I want.
Yeah. It's a feeling. It's a feeling,
Yeah,
isn't
it's a,
it?
it's a feeling. I mean, if you have enough time, and if you up to, I can show you a bit the process, and we can create one just right now. Of course,
Oh
it's not
my
gonna be
God.
animate. No, it's not gonna be animated, but you can get a feeling of the process to up to.
That would be great. That would be amazing.
Yeah. So let me show you a bit. Can you see this?
Wow. Yes, yes.
So I have these two systems here. So
Mhm.
one is the head generator system. This is the
Mhm.
some heads I bought on these like 3D scanner
Mhm.
places. And it's pretty good because I kind of um, generating like
Yeah.
variations of the faces
Mhm.
using this, like it's like endless amount of faces. I'm gonna go back to that guy because yeah, this could be fun.
Mhm.
And then I have this other system that create the lines for the paint.
Mhm.
It's a bit boring because there's a lot of random stuff like complex stuff that
Mhm.
is the desiccating part, and
Right.
then I go to a place where I create these lines. So that is this whole thing here that create these
Yeah.
lines,
Wow.
and these lines is what drives the paint system. So
Mhm.
I guess just gonna copy this guy.
Mhm.
So then I jump to another file because there is no bridge yet from one system to another because it's like really new.
Mhm.
And then I plug it in. So can you see here is the same. And then I go back here, and then I just like I have all these this paint system here that
Mhm.
make it paint. It's a bit
Right.
slow, but you can see like painting the
Yeah.
strokes, and it does like all automatically. So it's again everything procedure, everything automatically.
Mhm.
So for me, this thing of automation is really interesting because it's something like you can, if you live in Paris, you can walk to London, but
Yeah.
it's not practical.
Mhm.
So then you can fly or go by train or go by car, and the car and the train are like tools of automation.
Mhm.
Uh, and I guess when you have these automations process, you start to operate in a higher level.
Mhm.
We start to think about other thing and not the and not how, and more about why. So I think
Yeah.
this is like super strong concept. If you can fly to other worlds, it's possible. Then another whole universe opens to you. So and everything is like that. Uh, that's the good thing for me to being working in procedure, because you
Right.
can, of course, you can paint this by hand. You can do much better work than I'm doing. I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
Um, but then you need to, if you want to do like hundreds, or if you want to see variation, you need to have a really clear picture on your mind what you want
Yeah.
to do, because there's a lot of work. And
Mhm.
yeah, when I do things this way, I think, wow, there is other things that I can do. Oh, this is like a pre-render that I did. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is like you can operate on a different level when you create things like this. When I have the tool system, the paint system, I can feed whatever I want in this system. When I have the line recognition system, I can drive whatever. So the thing is, I gonna scale these up like for sure. Everything is kind of going to this position where I can do the same thing for the paintings. I'm gonna do for the same thing I did for the robots. I'm gonna do for the paintings. And yeah, you can see. So we did this right now in like 5 minutes. And if I go back here, and okay, I'll say, okay, I'm gonna change this camera like this. I just need to copy this there and wait a few frames, and it's gonna cook for me. So it's kind of having a workforce. You don't need to do the work. The computer can do a lot of stuff for you. So then you can care what you really want to do. That is actually, and then my explorations are around this. Let's say I just changed the thing, the lines, and let's see how it comes out. That's the thing. I think it's a bit weird, but I'm giving like all in on this way of work.
Yeah.
Because of the scales that I can reach is much bigger. I mean I would never do that if it was by hand because I'm super lazy. But I can do a system that does that for me, and I can do what I think I'm able to do it, and I have passion in doing that is seeing the new ones.
Yeah. And thank you so much for sharing this with us, because this is so fascinating to me. I love the whole idea that you kind of pose this question. I never thought of it that way. You said, instead of asking how do I do something, you ask why I'm doing something. Because I feel like a lot of artists, they have an idea and then they think, how am I going to execute this? But instead it's, why do I execute this? Why am I creating this? What am I trying to achieve?
Yeah, when I ask myself this, again, first is not like words, it's not it's not clear, not as clear as it should for me. I'm doing because I feel that I have to do it. I feel that the first, but also like it's really interesting for me, like all these sci-fi thoughts and all these because the thing is I'm super afraid of being replaced, and my work is like around this feeling of being afraid of being replaced, because if you take this tool, you don't need me, you don't need anything, you just can like plug like random stuff and it's gonna generate tons of it. Of course you need me to create news, but the new ones, but doesn't is not this the point. The point is, let's say we do everything we have to. Let's say we save the planet. Nobody's dying for hunger, and everyone on this planet has all the resources to live and everything. Okay, but and then okay, the thing is like we are going towards something that is like we are automating everything we can. What is going to be left for us, so the question is as well, like what makes us like humans, what makes us like in a deeper level is like what we are, what we are doing here, why all that, once we have everything, what is the meaning, like again, if I'm gonna show you this, and this is for me a really strong piece from my work, because this is how I feel. The way that I feel is like that my world is like collapsing in a way, not in a way that um, is collapsing. I'm dying or something. No, it's collapsing in a way. All the me that I thought things have it doesn't have. It just happens in my mind, you know.
Yeah.
So from there, okay, if you dissecate all these feelings, all these emotions, everything, all the creation, blah blah blah, and then what is after that, you know? So it's always like trying to. I don't have the answer. Of course, I don't have the answer. Nobody. I guess nobody has. But it's just like asking myself, okay, if I manage to give each person on the earth one work of mine, one piece of work, because it's possible. What else? What is after? And then getting wider. Once everything have everything they need, what is after that? You know?
Yeah.
Does it make sense? It's a bit
It
tricky because
makes
it's not.
so much sense. It makes so much sense that it's scary. It makes so much sense that it's scary. You know, when you showed me that piece of art, like the piece of art that you showed just on your Instagram, of that you said that meant something. I actually, it's one of my questions that I actually wrote down, and I remember seeing your Instagram, and that was actually one of my favorite pieces on your feed because I felt it. You know, it has a sadness in it. I could feel it, and I felt like and when you said about that fear of being replaced, I just like it's crazy, because I feel like in today's day and age, a lot of people have that fear as well, and I felt that through this piece, and it's emotional. It's very, very emotional, and I don't know how you did it, and I guess maybe it's your whole idea of, instead of using words, you feel, and that's how you put your feel into these pieces, and I don't think that can ever be replicated. To be completely honest, because I feel like it's you, it's raw, you know, it's your feeling, and people feel it, and that's the main thing, you know.
Yeah, that was amazing to hear that, because you know you I'll not say that is a lot of effort, because these things that I use, the systems that I build, I put a lot of effort on the systems, but not a lot of effort on the final pieces, because as I said, the process is like to respect what comes out, and what came out on this one was this one. But yeah, I mean, is really amazing to hear that, because I have all these feelings and all these you know, like, we all feel that something is missing. One part of us is always missing, and always gonna be. And we I guess we sometimes we try to find this on the work, on the family, or like parties or whatever. But to be honest, not saying that it is. I'm just saying, for me, it's just like when the answer is just yourself, is inside, is always inside, you know, I think. And the thing is, there is no solution for this problem. You're never gonna feel complete, you know, because that's the thing, like, okay, if you are complete, what are you gonna do? So the life happens between this is in this small space that is still left inside of you, and everything happens there because there is something missing. You need to do stuff, you know. I always use this the Dr. Manhattan, that he at some point he just like, I don't care, I'm not gonna do anything, just gonna stay here on the moon and just like meditate forever, because he knows everything, he's complete, you know. So I guess the beauty of life is actually like being this thing that miss one piece, you know. And all these like misplacements, and all these like word collapsing, and everything like out of place, this is what makes the life worth living. Otherwise it's just like a straight line, you know.
Agree. it's about that, it's just complacent. It's not being static. It's having that hope, and talking about that hope and that kind of what's next. And I love that. I never thought about that way, and I think you put it beautifully. So thank you for that.
Appreciate
Yeah.
so much.
And so, with your art, I would love to know are there any kind of eras or movements or artists like quote unquote our old masters or whatnot? Are there any artists that have influenced your work the most, or even made you feel the most in that case?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there is like lots, many.
Mm.
I mean,
Right.
I'm gonna pick the ones that are on my mind right now.
Yes.
I think Davide Quayola. He's like super. He's an Italian artist that like does this. He takes these old sculptures from the Michelangelo and all that, and he do his own like kind of bring it to new language in a way. Is like really strong. um, Again, for me is not is for me is a it's purely about the image. I have like images from like people that is not artists. I have like random is really random the way that I that I feel is more like about the feeling, because sometimes some stuff of the other artists, like some stuff, um, let's say I like one but I don't feel the same feeling on the others. But it's not a I'm I'm not saying that they are amazing. It's just like what I'm looking for is not there. On the procedural, there is a guy called Akira Saito. He's amazing. He does some procedure as well, like robots, as I do. But he's like the first guy in doing this kind of stuff, and it was a really key thing for me. Also, that is this my so the paint part comes from this friend called João Ruas. He's actually I'm gonna find him. He's super good. I love his stuff, and I worked with him uh, for 5 years. We shared um, the studio. We worked
Wow.
like close, but we never worked together because his stuff is like different from mine. And he hates 3D. He totally
Oh,
hates
wow.
3D. And for me, it was really good because I was trying to understand him, his artwork and everything, and understand why he hates so much 3D. And for him is because he thinks it's more often is like it was for him it was cheap in a way, like cheap concepts and cheap techniques. But I don't think it's because of the technique itself. Is because there's so much more to explore, because that is on the computer. You have so much, like, infinite possibilities. We just need to go there and find. And to be a real like a normal artist that goes out and there's a lot of effort to like produce a piece like this. You need to He paints like everything. So kind of for me, I make the automation does the work that he does, like the hard work. But we there's so much more, on 3D, and we should always trying to find this. That's why I always try to, like, this is like actually a 3D scan, from when we were to take my son at school, and I just like scanned the place and make this picture. So you could never think,
Yeah.
this is actually my kitchen.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, and
Well,
but there is many artists, like you can gonna, like, you say like Picasso. Let's
oh
say
yeah.
Picasso, something, like I mean, I don't have. mm, it's more about the images. It's not like any particular uh, uh, because then because I think I start to go a bit blur the edges of what I feel and who this person is. Like I like because it's this person, or I read because it the artwork. For me, I try to. It's impossible, but I try to separate a bit for the things that I want to consume. And I know, like, I'm not a consumer. I don't consume a lot of artwork and a lot of stuff. I my thing is to really to produce, basically.
Right. And it's interesting that you kind of pointed out, like, and it's fascinating that you kind of, you shared the same studio with someone who kind of didn't disliked 3D animation, 3D, rendering and stuff like that. And I feel like it
Mhm.
kind of like brings to the kind of the topic of like, like this whole idea of, and I was speaking to someone the other day about it, and it was about some artists like Picasso. He's more of a visionary. Like he sells why his work sold was because of his vision. Some
Mhm.
artists sell or they get their name out there because of their skills.
Mhm.
You know, and so I think it's just a different. It's a different. I can even see a different sector if it is. What are
Mhm.
your thoughts?
I guess that is it's like a spectrum, like
Yeah.
there is this whole this is not, and it's not even like a 1D spectrum. It's like a 4D spectrum where everything goes like from one place to another super easily. Again, I don't try to. I avoid to judge too much, because
Yeah.
whenever I get to this judgmental, is tells more about me and my beliefs, and not
Yeah.
about the real thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, like there's people on my Twitter, like few, but
Mhm.
there are people that hates me because I kind of like what this friend of mine, this artist, he's always said, yeah, you're gonna kill their work, man. You should stop doing that. But it's not my goal to kill anybody works. My goal is to explore and see, and I mean, if it's not me, somebody else gonna do. And if I can do, if I have the tools to do it, and I'm pretty sure I never gonna share this thing with anybody, and at some point I'm gonna destroy the hard disks, and nobody gonna have it. So not
Right.
even me. So I will never be able to recreate and all that, and we are safe, because I want to people to keep doing, like, but yeah, going back, that is this whole spectrum, and
Yeah.
again, going back, there's no right and wrong. As again, going back to this piece shows a lot for me. That is what you think is the world is not the world. When you
Yeah.
can take one perspective to judge something, but you like just forgetting the whole other perspectives, and at the end it's just perspectives. It's not the things. It's not the thing itself. You
Yeah.
can tell, like, a car is a car, but is a concept of a car, but what is actually there is a bunch of stuff together.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, for the car itself, it doesn't care if it's a car or not. For the this is for our perspective, a car is a car, but for the car perspective, it is whatever. Doesn't care. It doesn't. So that's using the same idea of this perspective. When you see something and you judge and you take a position, you just like judging, you can't see the whole thing to give it a real consideration, and that's why it's like, I don't think it's worth a lot taking too much, like, or judging other stuff. Do
Mhm.
whatever you want. I think this
Mhm.
is yeah.
I love that you said you mentioned, oh, I have this, like, for example, the car example. I have a perspective on a car, but what is the
Hmm.
car's perspective? I love that, like, you think about, what is the car thinking about? What's his story? It's beautiful. I've never thought of it that way, but maybe I will start trying, and maybe I'll come up with a story someday. But but yes. Okay. So it's been an incredible time having you on here, and I think maybe it's time to have some questions from the floor as well. We've had quite a few questions, and I'm super excited to ask them. And so, yeah. So, okay. Number one, do you make your own algorithm to procedural modeling in Houdini or use their built-in plus external libs?
No, everything is inside Houdini. I'm not a coder, so I don't use any code. I use logic and I use the visual programming, like using nodes and all that, but I don't use any
Right.
code. And yes, is everything inside Houdini.
Amazing. And another question, there's coming more and more games for movies that use the same assets. How do you think Houdini is going to help in that sense? And with this question, I know that you also worked with like Artifact with like the most recent shoe or sneaker that they had the bid on. So I think, I think that it's interesting. But yes, regarding the question.
Oh yeah, these asset things and Kitbash and all that. For me is a shame. For me, I'm gonna be honest. For me, it's a shame. Because you can do with the computer power and the right approach. Like it's with the power that you have now, we could do like a Avenger movie, like personalized for each person on Earth, and it would be amazing. But if you don't want to do that because it's much cheaper to do one. So if we go for cheaper mentality, we're gonna have cheaper things. So like what you want. I don't want. Like I don't. For me, it's more like okay, you're losing like a great opportunity of doing something new and maybe different and maybe amazing as well.
I agree. And then besides Houdini, what do you use to develop your art?
So right now, it's mainly Houdini. I just do everything I need. Because Houdini is like really open. So I do everything I Houdini. I'm using a lot of stuff on the phone as well, like this scans and all that is like on the phone, so I can go out and scan something like 3D scan and get the data from there and play. But yeah, I use Photoshop, but just like it doesn't make any difference on my work.
Right.
And I use After Effects just to put stuff together. Yeah, and I use you can see there is like two Houdinis here. So on the bottom, so that is just Houdini. I don't use much of the other stuff.
Gotcha. And what are the pros and cons for using procedural modeling?
From my perspective, is the thing is what you there is limits. There is limits, and you can see on like these pieces here, they are symmetric. I can make stuff asymmetric as well, but there is a lot of constraints that is hard to overcome. But of course, like if you have a normal approach, you can take from here and make it better and help fix some stuff. But the approach that I have, I'm not allowed to touch once it's done. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But I think I think it depends. I went full on procedural, so that's the way that I work. That is a way that I like to work. If I need to fix something, I need to fix the rules, not the final piece. If you don't have this boundary, this limit that all the artists should not have, then it helps you a lot. But the problems are that you always have a limit of like things that you can convert in a procedural way. Of course, you can always like overcome the limits, but it sometimes takes a lot of effort, and you pay first to see after. and sometimes a lot of times it comes out like doesn't look good and doesn't work. So you always need to like get better rules and try to figure out rules that works better, and you need to do maths and all that, and from there it's like start to become really complex. Yeah, it's a price you if you want to have to pay. It's like study a little bit of maths and CG, and not just caring about the final piece. That is most of the not most. Some of artists prefer to just care about the final piece.
Yeah. Okay, and so this is by Crypto Art Magazine. Can I ask if Adam being the first has any relationship with evangelization? Curious now.
You mean
Adam, the first piece.
Yeah. With evangelization. Sorry.
It's okay. I can't say it too. It's okay. We're on the same team. But yes, so religion and evangelization, things like that.
Okay. No. That is nothing at all. That is nothing to do with the Bible itself. Is something just that I think is really beautiful. The analogies and all these symbols, I back in time I was really keen in the Greek mythology, and for me it's like amazing, like there's all these concepts into like people, like it's amazing. And in the Bible does the same for me, like it's like amazing. I mean, I'm not like I don't follow any religion. I don't. I mean, for me, it's okay if you want to, but for me, it's just the power of nobody can deny that if there was a first man, it was Adam. Of course, if in a more symbolistic way, if you think of like a symbol of the first man, could it Adam, and for the first woman is Eve. So yeah, I think it's more about the symbol than the Bible itself.
Yeah, I agree. I was just about to say there's so many symbols in the Bible and stuff like that. I mean, like it's literally endless, and there's so much leeway to run with that, and especially in like Greek mythology, right? I'm looking forward to perhaps maybe one day if you ever do pieces based on Greek mythology, that'd be insane. But yeah, it'd be absolutely. Okay, and so we have a question from Longa. So wasn't able to find if this is already done, but plan to use have you ever planned to use the variable info from blockchain to evolve your works? Like, if the art pieces change depending on wallet addresses of owners or changes depending on the amount of transactions.
You found me. Of course I'm gonna do something like this. I mean, it's everything is there, I just need to plug the thing in. But yeah, definitely I really keen to make something like this, and I think it's gonna be so much fun.
Yes, we've caught you red-handed. I can't wait to see them. Oh my gosh. So they're going to be available on Super Rare, correct? Whenever you do those pieces.
I don't know. There is many platforms out there. Yes. You never know.
You never know. We're on to you, Fernando. We're on to you. Yes. And so, okay. Another question. So how did you get into crypto and then NFTs respectively? And the second part of the question is, why NFTs?
Okay, the why.
Yes.
Yeah. Why not? It's not like why. It's just like it's the first time that I see there is a place where all all the massive production of like the stuff that you can see on Instagram, that Instagram treats as just like they don't care about the stuff. You can bring to a world where people really want to see it.
Yeah.
And it's not like just things to grab your attention and sell your data. It's something way more powerful that is it's I just saw yesterday like few shows like did amazing stuff. It changed his life, and it's gonna be this for a lot of people in for both ends. Like I guess it's like a win-win for first for the artists for sure, and for the collectors is a really amazing way of the same thing of supporting. And if it does well, it's gonna make some you can promote the stuff that you love. And the final thing is for the digital artworks. Like digital artworks until now they were like just random pixels on the internet. Now they have their own place that they worth. It's not that just because the monetary, but the symbolic value. Because if you go back to like the Tumblr is like amazing, of course, collection of images, but there's no worth itself on the image, on the whatever you're tokenizing. I think it's amazing. I can't say. I guess finally we have a place where these things could live.
Yeah, I agree completely. And so we have a next question, Fernando, and this is a suggestion from one of our members. Fernando, maybe create a character from parts of the coolest car. Got 126p. Tom Hanks received such a car as a gift from the Poles and apparently drives it for shopping. Thoughts? Thoughts? Yes.
No, thank you so much. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm gonna have a look on this for sure in the near future.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, and so this is a last question for you.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years in the NFT or art space?
This is a hard question, because whenever I try to predict, whenever I try to tell something, whenever I try to force myself to go in a direction, it turns out that it doesn't work this way. It's not like I could say I'm gonna be I would like to be the biggest ever artist, but no, it doesn't work this way. So how I see myself in the next 5 years from now is like doing a lot of work like every day. That's the only thing that I keeping researching, keeping always trying to find new things that obsess me, and things that I could crack and brings new artworks, and trying to find new aesthetics and combine these aesthetics and make small films out of it, like small images, and like things that move, always change, and always try to do something that I couldn't imagine. It's like this is the thing. Like whenever I saw a new variation of the work that I do, I could never imagine anything like this. So yeah, I the same as you see as an spectator. For me, I'm a spectator as well. Once the system is done, so I'm gonna keep following this and gonna keep doing sure, because I can't stop. It's just like I have no option.
Yeah, it's obsessiveness, but it's great. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
And so again, you answered beautifully, and I can't wait to see what more you create in this space. Today we covered so many topics. We covered the purse of life. We covered you chasing an ice cream truck. So pretty eventful talk. I hope everyone enjoyed the talk just as much as I have, and learned just as much as I have. This was incredibly entertaining and so much fun. So thank you so much for coming on and joining us. And yeah, we're definitely going to keep an eye on your work. We're on to you, as we said. We're going to keep track of your work. And I'm going to be posting a link of all of Fernando's socials in the stream text. So if you want to follow him out, if you want to check him out, feel free to do so. And yeah, any last words, Fernando? Closing words.
First of all, thank you so much, guys. This was amazing. It's my first time doing this kind of stuff, and I never thought this could be so fun. And it's amazing. I love this. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I never thought that this could happen. I just trying to do my best, and that's it. If you guys like, or if you guys think it's that you have the same connection that I have when I see it's amazing. I think my work is done, because it found its purpose, and thank you so much. I just can't say thank you for all of this. It was really great experience and amazing. And cool.
Amazing. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year and happy holidays.
Sorry. Can you repeat, please?
I just wanted to say, Happy New Year and happy holidays, and thank you so much.
Oh, sorry, my headphone. Sorry.
Oh, no worries at all.
Okay. Can you say again? Sorry.
No, I just wanted to wish you a happy holidays and a happy New Year.
Okay, amazing. No, happy New Year as well. Hope this 2021 give us a lot of joy, and amazing. Thank you so much, and happy holidays as well.
Awesome. Take care.
I will for sure.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.